Hey homebrewers, happy Homebrew Wednesday. It's my first video since getting back from my trip to London. Went out there for fun and then work as well. So I got this beer right before I left, and this is from Dan, ABA. It's one of his homebrews. This is homebrew Gueuze he did. Well, American style Gueuze, if you will. He's been doing a sour beer project, so he sent it out to me to review. So I'm going to get this open, and it's behaving itself, which is nice, because I was worried I might have to pour this one over the sink. So let's get this poured out. So yeah, Dan sent it out so I can, check out the beer, give him feedback. He's kind of wondering maybe what category to put it in. I had the same issue with the sour beer I brewed up, so hopefully I can help you out. I thought mine didn't fit into the Gueuze category or the straight lambic category, so I didn't enter mine into NHC this year. It pours out a hazy golden color, bright white head. I mean, there's a good amount of carbonation, so they might kick you out for straight lambic or score you lower with it being carbonated. So yeah, that's kind of one of those things with the straight unblended lambic. You want it to be pretty much still. Man, really nice aroma. A lot of fruitiness, like apricot, peach, sort of nectarine. You get some that lemony tartness you get from lactobacillus. Yeah, it's got that sort of milky lacto character. A little bit of funk underneath. To me, it smells on the nose like American Wild Ale, which is a category they really need to add to the BJCP standards, because we're brewing all these beers over here that are not in the mold of Belgian style sour ale. They're not lambic. They're not Gueuze. They're our attempt at doing sour ale in a different way. I get that that's what I get on the nose, at least. And this is a little on the cold side, so maybe some more funk will come out. I notice a lot of the Brett characteristics will come out as the beer warms. It's got some of that tropical vibe. Maybe there's some Brett Trois in there. Get like a little mango, peachy, pineapple-y note. Smells great though. Let's dig in. Cheers. Yeah, a nice tartness. It's a really fruity type of beer. So I don't know if that fits into Gueuze too much. It's tasty though. It's very nice. Good puckering character. That milky lacto lemony tartness up front. All that fruitiness, the stone fruits and those vaguely tropical fruit characteristics come into play. It's got some mouthfeel to it. I forget what your ABV is on it. Seems like maybe it's a little higher than normal, but maybe not. I don't know. Dan ABA, I think it's Arrogant Bastard Ale is Arrogant Bastard Ale or Ales is his YouTube channel. So check that out. He posted all the videos of this whole process that went into this beer, and I'm really enjoying it. That's nice. There's a little touch as it warms of that acetic character, which isn't necessarily a bad thing in the amount that's in this beer. It's really hard to do. It's sort of that slight vinegar character. I don't think it's too much. Some people are more sensitive to it than others, and it doesn't bother me as much as some people who, if they get like a hint of that, think it's like, the beer's crap and it's not very good. But it's really hard to keep that out as a home brewer. Yeah, I would say the only thing is I would prefer a little bit more carbonation. It's not as dry on the finishes that I kind of like for the style. That's maybe something that's a little different. It is pretty drying, but it doesn't have that intense dryness, and I don't know if that's because of the carbonation level, which seems to be completely fine. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it seems like it's highly carbonated, so maybe it's just a little more residual sugars. I'm not sure. Maybe just a little on the sweeter side, which isn't a bad thing. But I haven't looked over the BJCP guidelines. Maybe it's just because it has so much mouthfeel. But I'm thinking it's a little sweeter than normal. Anyway, very nice beer. The beers I entered into NHC, I did English barley wine, just an IPA, regular American IPA. And then I had trouble figuring out my last two spots because I had a lot of projects going on. I ended up choosing my bourbon barrel aged imperial stout. I did that, 2 versions of that. Chose one. One I added a little bit of cocoa nibs and a little bit of vanilla extract to a point where it just enhanced the beer slightly that you wouldn't notice it. You wouldn't think that's just not coming from the beer itself or the barrel. So I like the slightly more enhanced version of the imperial stout. Enter that in. The final beer I thought was gonna be a sour. I thought it was either gonna be my sour blonde ale or my Flanders Red. Flanders Red. I thought it was tasting good. I thought it needed some oak, so I put some French oak chips that I've been soaking in Zinfandel. And it just ended up being too much wine character. It's out of style. So I need that beer to age a while. And maybe I'll enter in a competition someday. And then the Sour Blonde, kind of like Dan's, I think just didn't quite fit the mold of what they're looking for a Gueuze. But yeah, I mean, you have the balance in your beer for the most part too. So it's like not too tart. I'd say if anything that's missing the funk character, and mine is kind of missing that too. I'd say mine has slightly more funk to it, and that's hard to do. So this to me tastes like if you were to blend a 1-year or 2-year-old lambic is kind of the character. You don't have that complexity of the 3-year-old kind of characteristics of that really kind of musty, barnyardy, funky component. And that'd be cool if you can get that in this beer. And it's really hard to do as a brewer, so it's still a very well done beer. Same with mine. It's the same kind of case of it not really fitting the style. So I kind of rushed my batch 2 farmhouse ale to a keg, primed it, did a bottling run of most of the keg, and pretty much had to ship out my beers right before my trip to Austin. Or I had to have them packed up and they're shipped while I was abroad. So my IPA is not going to be in the best shape. But it gave me time to carbonate up the farmhouse too. Well, I got home, opened up a bottle at the Stone AHA rally, see how it was doing. It's carbonated, so I was happy with that. And I find out it was ropey. So ropey is what happens when the bacteria in the beer, because they use a lot of dregs, form these really long proteins, and the beer gets really kind of slimy, if you will, and eventually that'll go away. The Brett will help break down those proteins, and it can take as little as a few months or half a year. I don't know, but unfortunately that beer is going to do terrible in competition, so I'm kind of bummed about that, because the beer going in the bottle is not ropey based on the samples I took. So that was kind of unfortunate that happens, so I don't have any expectations for that beer. We'll see how the others do. My barley wine scored pretty well in the AFC competition, the American's Finest City. I didn't medal in that competition at all. I didn't really expect to. I didn't really have my best beers. I thought my pale ale actually might do pretty well, but it didn't score well for some reason. Kind of disagreed with the scores, but whatever. It's just competition. So NEC, I guess I have lower expectations after AFC, even though 3 of the beers are different. So it's kind of the update on that. I just got back and need to start brewing again. And there's some local competitions, but I don't know how many of these I'm going to do anymore, because I just kind of want to brew what I want to do. And if I have it for a competition, I'll have it. If not, I don't think I'm going to brew for too many competitions. What else? Okay, Stone AHA Rally. Forgot to mention that. That was it's been 1 year since Robert and I won the competition, and it's very cool. On Saturday, one of our good friends, Chris Banker, won the competition with his Mexican mocha coffee milk stout, and it's an idea that I remember him pitching to me when we were commuting down to a homebrew club meeting, and we were kind of talking about the beer and what he should do, and I thought that was a good idea, and he went with it and just executed it really well. It's only like a 6.5% milk stout, so it's going to be sessionable. It's going to have all the extra ingredients that you kind of see like in Prairie's Bomb or Cigar City's Hunapus. So, but it's got the coffee, the chilies, cinnamon, nutmeg. I don't know what else he put in there. Cocoa nibs, cacao nibs. Maybe vanilla. Can't remember if he did vanilla or not. Anyway, so congrats to Chris for winning that. It's really cool to kind of pass the torch to a friend of mine for this winter, and hopefully we can keep it going with the home brewers that I know, because I know a lot of phenomenal brewers. I'd argue my friends are some of the best brewers I know, so I'm in good company, and hopefully we can keep it going. So congrats to Chris for winning the competition. Looking forward to seeing if Stone can reproduce that beer at a large scale. Hopefully they can. And I don't know if there's going to be a collaboration brewery with them or not, but that will be news coming forward eventually. And I don't know what's going to be brewed, but we'll keep in touch and figure out how he kind of goes through the process with Stone now that I've been through it. So I kind of have an idea of how it works, and hopefully he has a great experience like I did. And yeah, it was really awesome to kind of pass the torch to him. So video's going on far too long. Big thanks to Dan. Appreciate it for sending out the beer to me. Hope I gave good feedback to you. So it's going to wrap it up. Until next time, cheers.